And good afternoon, everybody. We are here for the afternoon session for the Convene Community Summit. I have my friend Jason Berry here. How are you doing, Jason?
Good, Matt. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you are here. This has been a good morning. We had an incredible morning, and you and I, you as our the Convene Business Coach, we did a lot of talking about, this and what it can be, and it is everything I wanted it to be, man. Everybody has brought it, Jason, this morning. They've shared their story. They've shared their passion. They've shared why they're here. It's been great.
Energy's contagious, man. So that's good. Yeah.
It is. So let's jump off. I'm sharing here on out on Facebook to my personal page, but let's talk a little bit about you and who you are and why are you part of Convene. But give your backstory, because that's an important part of why you do what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody's backstory is an important part of why they do what they do. Yeah. Thanks, Matt. So I'm an adventurous soul. So my background has centered a lot on outdoor adventure. I mean, there's a lot of different forms of adventure in the world, but outdoor adventure has been kind of my gig. And from a young age, I wanted to have an outdoor retail business. So I'd go into a store like REI. A lot of people might be familiar with that. And I'd go into a store like this, and it's like, people get paid to do this for a living? That's amazing. Yeah. So that lit a spark in me at a young age, and that combined with a couple other factors, getting to go on an outward bound backpacking trip in middle school that was subsidized by the school system in Hickory, where I grew up, which was remarkable. I think all school systems need to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole other passion project for another day. But there were very formative things growing up that allowed me to think big about, hey, what's possible in life and what's possible with adventure and how can this integrate. So long story as short as possible. I went into college and was thinking about business management and marketing specifically so that I could have an outdoor shop. Yeah. And worked in an outdoor retail business while I was in school at ASU, Go Mountaineers, up in Boone. And one thing led to another. And after working there for, 3 or 4 years, the owner of that business and I were talking about the potential of me purchasing the business from him, which was a huge honor. It was, he knew that's what I wanted to do for a living. He had founded that business in 1971. So it's been around for a long time. It had been around for 40 plus years by the time I was around, 38, 40 years. So anyway, I worked in that business for 18, maybe 19 years. And I owned the stores, 2 stores, for 11 of those years. And awesome experience, awesome people, awesome team. And so there's the part of business of doing the do, Yeah. I am an expert custom boot fitter and backpack fitter and all these kind of things. I can talk to you about Gore-Tex until you'll fall asleep. And but then there's the business part of running a business.
Yeah.
And I was pretty on top of my game when it came to the do of the business, but the business part of the business, of course, I'd gone to business school to learn that. But what I realized a couple of years into ownership of that business was business school did not prepare me to be a business owner. It prepared me to be an awesome employee.
Yeah.
So in recognizing there was an education gap there, I was like, okay, let me take my ego down a couple of notches here so that I can have an open mind and learn. So I brought in a couple of consultants over the years, invested way over $100,000 over several years' time in working on specific areas of the business. We did great work together. I can't shake a stick at that. I mean, they came in and did what we talked about doing. And the issue was they came in and worked on a specific area of the business while other areas of the business weren't really being tended to at the same time.
Yeah.
And anybody that's in small business either knows or will figure out over some time, if they haven't figured this out yet, every part of the business is connected to every other part of the business.
Yeah.
You can't improve one and it be the silver bullet. There is no silver bullet. You just need to do all of it with thought and planning and consistency. So the finances would be strong one year and tough the next year, and the team dynamic will be stronger one year and tough another year, and the inventory controls will be all over the place, the finances, the marketing. It was just so many different hats you wear as a small business owner. Cycling great years, challenging years, great years, challenging years, and it just burned me out.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I didn't know. So go ahead, Matt.
You told one story, and I think it's very relative. And I brought this up, earlier when I was talking to one of the interviews, is that, and this is why it's so important. She talked about, as Jody said, here I am. I started a business and I'm an entrepreneur. So everybody that's in Convene is an entrepreneur now, is a small business owner, right?
Yeah.
But you said one thing that I think is so important and so funny to me. It's kind of is, and this is what you're getting at. And it was the day that you signed the paperwork for the business and you turned the lights off that night. So, and you said to me, you said, that I signed it over, I owned the business, and I turned it off, the lights off that night. And I was like, I'm Superman. I'm the
man. Look at this.
I own this baby. And you realized you owned a business, and now it's time to learn.
That's right. So, everything's about growth and perspective in life, right? And if you don't succeed, you learn, right? So I've done a lot of learning over the last many years. And the fact is I got burned out of with that business. I was like, I don't want to come to hate the business that I love or the industry that I love. So one thing led to another, and I sold the business and moved on. So without a game plan. So the next phase of life was like, okay, what's it going to be? And I talked to a couple of I love marketing. I love engaging target markets, and talked to a couple of corporate roles, folks about corporate roles that were open in the Winston-Salem area, which is where we live now, near you, Matt.
Yeah.
And it was obvious that I was not going to be a good fit for the corporate scene. I was just like, after having been in control of my own destiny, so to speak, for so long, I'm like, yeah, working inside of a box is not going to be Jason. So, again, as short as possible, we'll make the story here. I ran into Mary Ann and Kurt, who own the ActionCOACH Business Coaching Firm here in Winston. And they've had it. We just passed our 10-year anniversary this year. So they've been around here doing this for a while. And they heard about my background and story after we chatted a little bit. And Mary Ann said, what you need to do is consider coming to work with us as a business coach and help other coaches avoid all that trial and error that you got drugged through on the way here to talk to us right now, And I'm like, well, that's an interesting concept. So being wary about, there's a lot of people that say they've got business solutions out there, or the silver bullet is even worse. We do this one thing and everything else will be great. Being wary of that, I really put some time into vetting what this was, and I could not shoot a hole in it. It's what I was looking for and really needed up in Boone when I was up there with that business. And bottom line was I spent 2 months vetting it. Couldn't shoot a hole in it. And I was like, this is absolutely where the Lord has brought me in my journey to this point. This is a divine appointment that I need to capitalize on for the benefit of everybody that I'll be able to work with over the years moving forward. So that was 3 years ago. And man, every day just reconfirms it was the right move. It's like right dead bullseye in my passion. In my energy too. Like it's just right inside of where my energy lies. And, that background with the business up there over those years, combined with the training and certification process to become a coach, which is pretty rigorous.
Yeah.
It's like, man, what a cool perspective. I've been blessed to be able to speak into other business owners,
Wow, and that's really cool because you made a huge difference for Convene, right? Working with us, and you're really part of our team, so to speak. And so I appreciate every single bit of everything that you're bringing. Um, but it fits naturally with what we're doing here with Convene and the small business community. So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about why did you see the fit, and how do you see how we, because we are part of a team, how you can make a big difference in all of our community leaders, all of our group leaders, because it goes back to what we just said. If you're here in Convene and you're a community leader or a group leader, you're really a small business owner.
So we all have our why, whether or not we've identified it and defined it really well. All of us have our why. And if you haven't spent time figuring that out, then you should do that. Read Start With Why by Simon Sinek, connect with Matt, connect with me, and we can explore that with you and help you identify it. But my why is to have a positive impact on the home life of our community at scale
Yeah.
in my lifetime. So what I see the opportunity with coaching, first of all, is that is a leveraged opportunity I can pour into these business owners, help them grow their businesses, help them grow their teams. So think about working with 100 business owners over the next 2 or 3 years, helping them grow their businesses, create awesome cultures in their business so that the employees are all working, or team members are all working in an awesome environment. What do those team members have to take home at the end of the day?
Yeah.
It's positive. It's really good. And they've got finances to support their family and their lifestyle. And they've got energy and positive input. I see Convene as an opportunity for all of us to further scale and massively. I mean, we're just starting to get a hint of what's possible with this thing, but what's been created, Matt and you and the team, Eugene and Jeff and Braden, everybody, Melinda, I got to say Melinda's name, and Todd. So the team has put this thing together. It's just amazing what's been created, and the concept is massive. I believe it's a segment creating situation. You're creating a new segment on the web that doesn't really exist, but what it does is it pulls some things together that have not really been hit on the bullseye by anyone else before this point. So I see it as an opportunity for no matter what your why is, whether it's business, business oriented, or health, or we just heard from the Umpire Academy. And I mean, it doesn't matter what your why or your passion is. There is a way to have a scaled impact through Convene communities. And at the same time, there's plenty of opportunity for you to monetize that so that you can further scale your mission.
Yeah.
When I say that word monetize, there's a lot of people out there that they're like, oh, that's not really what I'm about. It's not about making money. It's about making impact. It's like, how much more impact can you make if you got some resources?
Yeah.
And the way I look at it is our creator has created these resources in the world, and we're either going to use it to our benefit or somebody else is going to use it to their benefit.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Exactly.
I would rather the people that are attracted to Convene, which are awesome people so far.
Yeah.
I would rather see those people be able to attract the resources to further their mission, to further their impact through Convene and outside of Convene as a result. But Convene is a catalyst. It's an opportunity to scale and reach an audience, create impact like we've not seen before. It's going to be very interesting in the next 5-10 years what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the cool things, and one of the things that's been so exciting about today, is that everybody that's on here and everybody that has a community, they've brought their why. They're here. They figured out their why, and they're working through that why. And Convene is a resource that they're using, right? And that's what we are. We're a resource, right? Inside of that resource, we're trying to offer unique things, and unique things being our coaching program. But also a unique thing is the business coaching that you're bringing to the table. And that's so important because everybody's trying to take their game to the next level. And I think that is going to be, so everybody listen, what Jason is bringing to the table is one of the things that's going to set Convene apart. Because what other platform can you go into where you're going to be able to have access to business coaching from somebody like Jason? I can't think of another one. Can you?
Nothing that's been really tested and vetted
Yeah,
maybe
that's
the
been
same way,
tested better the same way.
Yeah.
Agree. And so it's important because I think that that's just part of the collaboration. We talk about connect, communicate, collaborate, and educate. Well, that's what you're bringing to the table and bringing to part of this, and I'm excited about that. So, how are you, if you were just to talk about, because I think you do this in a unique way, structuring your community because you have a thought process behind it?
Sure. So every community is going to have its own personality or demeanor. The small business community is much greater than me, and it should be, as it should be, or else it would be the Coach Jason community, and it should stand on its own if it was just going to be about me. The small business community, I'm honored to have the ability to be the community leader for this community and curate the resources that every small business owner needs out there. All of us need great marketing input, and marketing is just this huge topic, right? All of us need to understand finances, and there's 3 or 4 big chunks or I guess directions that should go for our learning as a business owner. Team development, personal development, and leadership style. And there's so much there. And as a coach, the way we approach business coaching is it's comprehensive. We work with every single aspect of what you're working with as a business owner. However, I'm not an accountant. I don't desire to be an accountant. I know what that function serves, and it's very important, and you need to have the right accounting partner. But that's somebody like when I'm working with like Convene, we are working to build the professional team around Convene that will contribute to Convene's success long term. And that is going to include the right accounting partner. That's going to include the right marketing partner.
Yeah.
That's going to include probably somebody that's got some specific talent with team development at some point. That's a specialist or a consultant in those areas, while we're working on the bigger overall plan on how that all fits into the big picture.
Yeah.
Any one of those consultants or specialists by themselves can't make or break a business. Well, they could break a business, but they won't make a business.
Yeah.
But it's really a comprehensive viewpoint, and that's what the small business community, bringing it back to your question, that's what I see the small business community as being. I want to have plenty of my content in there, and I've actually already uploaded maybe like 18 or 20 experiences that are free and public in the small business community that are about mindset and concepts about building your business that I encourage anyone to go check out. But this is going to be my content, but that's only going to be a part of what's in the small business community.
Right.
So that being said, anyone that has a service that supports small businesses, has a specialty that they work in or a niche that they work in, if you're in the business of supporting small business, then we need to talk, and I can help figure out what's the most effective spot in Convene for you to make that impact and make that connection. And I hope it'll be in the small business community. But I was thinking before I got on the call, there might be some people that I end up talking to that it's like, that's awesome. It's kind of like to the side here for what the small business community is intended to do for support, but this will be a great standalone community.
Exactly.
On its own. And I just don't know until we have those conversations. But man, I am open. I usually have 2 or 3 slots of time each week that I can block out to have a 20-minute Zoom chat with somebody. Yeah. And I encourage that. Reach out to me, connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, if you're out there listening and you just want to have, it's well worth your time to spend that 20 minutes with Jason, just to open up the conversations and to engage. I mean, he has, individual coaching, he has group coaching that you can be involved in. There's a lot of opportunities that you can, work with Jason through Action Coach. And like I said, you've been nothing but a humongous asset to our Convene team. Um, and you're going to be a huge asset to the growth of Convene and to the growth of other community leaders and group leaders within Convene. It's so important. I mean, we talk about it. Melinda, said to me before, and I think it's, and she talks about a guy that's been very successful in the property management world. And she says, he's a pilot, I'm a pilot. And so we're a little bit of alike, but I think it's to the point is, you form a team of experts, right? That's why you go out and hire people. You bring in your team of experts.
Mm.
And I can do one or two things. I can be involved in everything and try to micromanage everything and all that. Or it's like,
I've done that before.
yeah, it's like what she said. She goes, "Hey, Matt, you be you and you get out of the way and let us do our
That's
job."
a smart person right there, Melinda.
Melinda's a very smart person. And that's what it is. I know what my core expertise is. And one of my expertise is doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Sitting on here, interviewing you, creating relationships, growing. That's what I do. I don't make websites and do marketing like Melinda does, and Shayna does. That's, their marketing and the website develop. And so I need to tell them what I want, give them my thoughts, and let them do what they do.
Well, and you know what? It makes me also think about how you and I originally connected.
Yeah.
I didn't connect with you to talk to you about business coaching.
Yeah.
I connected with you because this sounds really interesting, and I'm an adventurous spirit. So I'm like, ooh, I need to find out what that's about. And then I found out we were in the same town together. It's like,
yeah, that's right.
But the opportunity for me to become a part of Convene and have a community, and the opportunity for us to work together in the coaching relationship just manifest itself through the relationship that we were building, so that, speaking to what you said about your strength and just building those relationships, that's where it started, and then it became what it needed to become over time. And that's the beauty of starting a conversation. You can't, we have one of the mindset experiences is about showing up. It's about participating.
Yeah.
And until you show up and participate and go out there and be bold and have conversations with new folks, new people in the community, it's going to really limit how far you're going to get in your life or in your business or in your why. And man, it's all about connecting with people. And that's what Convene's about.
Yeah. Well, we're up at our time here, but like I've told you before, I truly appreciate you. We really just didn't even scratch the surface on small business and what you're going to be able to do for everybody. I highly suggest, I'll say that again, everybody connect up with, go in, follow a friend, send a friend request to Jason. You can send a message to him through Convene also, but just get in touch with Jason, do an individual call with Jason. It's well worth your time. It's going to be great, us all growing together. One of the most exciting things about it is we're in the process of getting an office space. I'll touch on this right now since you're sitting on the call. That would have never happened without you, because it is going to be right across the hall from where ActionCOACH, I don't want to say right across the patio where we're going to do our little events, right, Jason?
It's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's right across that. There's a little patio up there where we can do small business events and do events. But the space for Convene is going to be a training space, a collaboration space, and a podcasting and content creation space. It is going to be really cool. It's going to help you set things apart so people will be able to come in. Not only when they come in will they see me and Eugene and everybody else who's local here, Jeff, but you're also going to see Jason because his office is right across the hall. So it's going to be, you're not only going to get Convene coaching, but you'll get business coaching as well when you come in. So it's really, really cool. And you're right. It's about building relationships, which is cool.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. I'm excited for the rest of your day, man. Thanks for having me on today, Matt.